Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Shanks has always feared Blackbeard's actions and knew it was essential to approach him with caution. After all, this was an enemy even he might not be able to handle. After all, he never did. In today's video, I will reveal the reason behind all of this. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. Guys, the relationship between Shanks and Blackbeard is one of the most fascinating mysteries in One Piece. From the start, we can see that there's something in Shanks' behavior toward Marshal D. Teach that goes beyond simple rivalry or common distrust. In chapter 434, we see Shanks directly approaching Whitebeard, warning him about the danger Teach represents. This scene is very revealing because Shanks is not someone who takes precautions without reason. He is one of the Yonko, one of the most powerful and influential pirates in the world, and the fact that he was willing to personally intervene to warn Whitebeard about Teach says a lot about what he thinks of the man. One of the reasons Shanks might fear Blackbeard is deeply rooted in Teach's peculiar history. Blackbeard is a character who defies all conventions in the world of One Piece. He wasn't just patient enough to spend decades in Whitebeard's shadow, but he was also extremely strategic in every step he took. While other pirates sought fame, riches, or immediate power, Teach seemed to be playing a much longer game. The way he has manipulated his fate so far is one of the biggest indicators that he knows something most people in the world do not. A crucial point in this analysis is the fact that Teach is the only character who chose his devil fruit, the Yami Yami no Mi, with a clear objective in mind. In chapter 441, we learn that Teach dedicated his life to searching for this specific fruit. He knew exactly what he wanted and was willing to wait as long as it took to get it, even if it meant living as one of Whitebeard's subordinates for years. This level of patience and determination is uncommon among pirates, who are typically known for their impulsiveness. The Yami Yami no Mi is a unique devil fruit with abilities that contradict most of the known rules of the world. Its power to nullify other devil fruit abilities places it on a completely different level. Perhaps Teach knew this from the start, which suggests he has access to information most people are unaware of. That alone is terrifying. But what makes Blackbeard even more frightening is that he has managed to use this knowledge to his advantage, outmaneuvering even those who should be more experienced or powerful. In chapter 434, Shanks mentions that the scar on his face was caused by Teach. This is a detail that, in my opinion, cannot be ignored. Shanks is known for his strength and skill, and it's unlikely that he would have been so severely injured by someone weak or inexperienced. The fact that Teach was able to injure Shanks even before obtaining the Yami Yami no Mi suggests he was already dangerous in some way. Perhaps Teach has an understanding of combat or a strategic cunning that makes him unpredictable. Moreover, Shanks himself made it clear that he wasn't careless during that encounter, meaning Teach surprised him in a way few could. There's also the fact that Teach seems to operate with a logic that defies expectations in the world of One Piece. While other pirates have more common motivations, such as finding the One Piece or becoming the pirate king, Teach seems to have a much more complex goal. He's not just seeking power for its own sake, he's accumulating knowledge and abilities that put him in a unique position. This is evident in chapter 957, where we learn that Teach became one of the Yonko in an astonishingly short period. He not only took Whitebeard's territory, but also managed to gather a powerful crew and consolidate his power almost meteoric. What makes this even more relevant is how Shanks reacts to Teach. As mentioned in chapter 434, Shanks goes out of his way to warn Whitebeard about the danger of allowing Teach to continue progressing. This isn't something Shanks does often. He is known for being a calm and confident figure, someone who doesn't get involved in unnecessary conflicts. The fact that he was willing to confront Whitebeard, one of the most powerful pirates in the world, shows how much he believes Teach is a threat. Another important detail is that even after the Marineford battle, when Teach becomes the new Yonko, Shanks continues to closely monitor his movements. This suggests Shanks doesn't see Teach as just a powerful adversary, but as a direct threat to the balance of the world. Perhaps Shanks knows something about Teach that the rest of us don't. There's a theory that Teach is somehow connected to the mystery of the Void Century, or the true origins of the devil fruits. This would explain why he seems to know so much about the world, and why he has been able to manipulate events to his advantage so effectively. In chapter 1054, we again see Shanks mentioning the importance of acting cautiously regarding Teach. This reinforces the idea that he doesn't underestimate his former rival, even now that both are in positions of power. Shanks is someone who values peace and balance, but he also understands when a threat is too great to ignore. Deep down, perhaps he realizes that Teach represents something beyond simple ambition or brute strength. He is a symbol of chaos, someone who doesn't follow the world's rules and is willing to break them to achieve his goals. Teach's unpredictable unpredictable nature undoubtedly terrifies even the most powerful individuals. He doesn't follow the traditional logic of a pirate or warrior. He isn't driven solely by desires for power or prestige. His approach to achieving his goals is like a long and meticulous strategy, where he manipulates events and people around him with a coldness that borders on the unimaginable. This makes him an even more dangerous enemy than other pirates of his generation, who often seek direct confrontation without much planning or consideration of the consequences of their actions. Blackbeard, however, doesn't act that way. He is a master of patience and waiting, and that's something Shanks knew from the start. The fact that Shanks feared Blackbeard wasn't just a matter of raw strength, but a much deeper understanding of the kind of threat Blackbeard represents to the world. However, the lingering question is, why didn't Shanks deal with Blackbeard earlier, before he became so powerful? There are several reasons for this, but perhaps the most important is that when Teach was beginning to become a bigger threat, he wasn't yet at Shanks' level of power. At first, Teach was an interesting enemy, but there wasn't a real urgency to confront him, as his movements were still relatively subtle. It was only when Blackbeard began conquering territories and becoming bolder, especially after Whitebeard's death, that Shanks realized something needed to be done to prevent him from becoming a greater problem for the balance of the world. Additionally, Shanks is not the type to act rashly. He has always been known for his calm and patience, avoiding unnecessary confrontations when possible. He understands that balance in the world of one piece is crucial, and that power shifts need to happen naturally, without forcing the situation. He knew that by intervening directly in a confrontation with Teach, he could further destabilize the world and create a series of repercussions that could be devastating. Therefore, he chose to adopt a more careful and strategic approach, monitoring Blackbeard and waiting for the right moment to act. Another important point is Shanks' relationship with Whitebeard. When Shanks tried to warn Whitebeard about the danger posed by Teach, he was acknowledging the gravity of the situation, but also acting with respect for his former mentor's strength. Whitebeard, although strong, didn't have the same level of strategy or understanding of the threat Teach posed. He was more focused on his own goals and relationships with his subordinates. Shanks, on the other hand, knew that Whitebeard had been more vulnerable than he appeared, and that his method of ruling was no longer sufficient against the new threats emerging. When Shanks approached Whitebeard, he was ultimately trying to prevent a larger conflict that could affect the entire balance of the pirate world. However, even with all the respect and caution, Shanks knew he would eventually have to face Blackbeard. This became even clearer after Whitebeard's death, when Teach finally took on the role of one of the Yonko and began expanding his domain relentlessly. At this point, Shanks recognized that if Blackbeard wasn't stopped, he could become an overwhelming force, far beyond anyone's control. The reason Shanks didn't confront Blackbeard directly before he became so powerful can be explained by several strategic factors. First, Shanks probably didn't want to waste resources or risk his position as a Yonko without having a solid plan. He knew that any direct confrontation with Teach would have to be decisive, and he wasn't willing to risk the stability of the world to settle a personal dispute or a power struggle. Moreover, Shanks has a clear understanding that battles are not just about strength, but also about timing. He knew that the right moment to act hadn't arrived yet, and that up to that point, it was wiser to keep his distance. Do you agree with me, or do you think Shanks has another plan involving Blackbeard? Comment below. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.